Hello, I am Mohit from CSCC and Spandana and Rajita are my project partners. Our project is about predicting or rather forecasting the future results of a pandemic, how many people might get affected in the future so we can get a better idea of what is going to happen in the future so we can plan things accordingly. Here we are basically scraping the data from we are using the live data which is in the websites, so it keeps updating, it keep on getting updated and it's up to date. Here we are using LSTM. The technology we are using here is LSTM, which is a form of recurrent neural networks. The working of LSTM is basically a recurrent neural network is like a loop. It keeps on taking its own output and giving it as input again. So if we stretch it out, it will look like this, where you take the first word. Suppose we are giving a sentence as an input, which is this sentence per se. Then this x1, x0 will be the, x1 will be working, this will be off, and so on. Then this will be remembered by the model, this will be trained and sent to the next program. When we reach x1, the model knows it processes working and it also keeps the output of the previous one, so it basically processes both of these words, the and working. So in a similar way, by the end of it, it will know, it will be completely processing the whole sentence. But the problem with recurrent neural networks is this is basically we can run it on a sentence or a time series data. In time series data, we can give January data here, February data here, or yesterday's here, today's here, tomorrow's here. But the problem with recurrent neural networks is even though you have reached so many iterations, you reach further data, there is a concept of context in a sentence or a time series data. When you move to even 100th, we are using 100th word, processing 100th word, it will keep remembering the first two words, effect and off. Suppose here we are taking the sentence of the working of recurrent neural networks. So in future, if we say the working of recurrent neural networks is good, so just by looking at the is good part, we can say what is good. We can say that working of recurrent neural networks is good because it remembered all of the previous data. If it only had the data, if it only processed is good, it won't have an idea of what is happening. So this is important, but the problem is, what if we said the working of recurrent neural networks is good, but some other neural networks is bad? So by the time it reaches is bad, it won't know which is bad. This one form of neural networks, recurrent neural networks is here, and maybe you put some non-recurrent neural networks here, and it will give same weightage to both of them. That is what is happening here. Here the starting of the sentence is here and end of the sentence is here. Both it is giving equal weightage to both of it. So this is the problem of recurrent neural networks. So to overcome this problem, we have taken LSTM. In recurrent neural networks, it will directly take the input, add these both, put into a tanh function and send it to the next one, and next one does the same. Tanh function is basically used to normalize the data. It will give if it's just true or false. It will range the value, whatever the value is there, it will give the value between -1 to +1. So you'll know if it's positive, neutral or negative. That's it. So just for simplification. But this is in a normal RNN, but in LSTM you have a forget gate, you have an add gate and a tanh function and then a forward one. So here every time a new word comes in, LSTM will make a decision. should we add this to the next one, or should we forget the previous somewhere which is in the starting, or and tanh will be common to everything. See, all these lines are passing through tanh because it's a normalization function, and it will make a decision to add this input into the again processed output. So by this it will have so many number of permutations. So by comparing all these permutations we can come up with a better solution. So coming to the working of the program, here we are importing all of the basic stuff that is needed, and this is the URL in which we have the CSV data. CSV is comma separated values. The any type of machine learning model, it is easier for it to take values as a CSV file. CSV, it is basically, I will show you. In CSV files, it is the headings are given on the top, and every value will be separated by a comma. So models usually have a good time knowing. We can look at a table and say what is what, and we can get the data easily. But the model only learns, a computer only, it is easier for it to learn when it's given comma separated values. So we took the actual data and we have the CSV ready here, and with the CSV these are all the functions we are running to predict the confirmed cases. We have data for all the things: deaths, confirmed cases, and recovered. And here we have the scraper from Worldometer website. We scraped all of the data. Then numbers and values, how many number of cases we had, for how many days we had. These are the number of, we have 50 lakh data points, so that is a very sufficient, that is an above average data, so we can use it to get a model. Because if the data is very small, like 5000 values, the model won't be able to recognize any pattern. Suppose if it's only January and we have the data, if it's only January and we have only 1 month of coronavirus data, we don't know how big is this gonna be, or maybe it will die down in February only. So we need a sufficient amount of data, and more data it gets, the more better the model will get. So here we have a data frame and we ran the get confirmed values. So we just put the confirmed values in this data frame, and this is the df.tail. df.tail shows the last 6 values or last 5 values of what is there in confirmed. Then we run it all over here. We split the training and testing data, 80% and 20% testing. That is trivial. And we have a look back variable here. What does look back do is, here look back, generally if this is a sentence, look back will show, if look back is 2, it will take into consideration last 2 values, because not only should we discard the very first value, like in long LSTM full form is long short term memory. It will keep track of long memory, it won't discard it, because obviously we need in some sentences, long sentences, we need what is there in the start. Long and again short term memory, it will keep everything inside but also give more importance to the recent values. So by giving look back equal to 2, the model will give more preference to the last 2 data points whatever we have. Like if we have today's, if it's processing today's data, it will give more preference to yesterday's and day before yesterday's data. Therefore we have look back here, and we have training generator, test generator. We process the model both for training and testing data, and we are using Keras model here for deep learning. MSE stands for mean mean squared error. and the optimizer is Adam optimizer. Adam optimizer is a adaptive optimizer. That, that's that's more going into the theory, and we gave the epochs as 100 year. Epochs, as when we run it, you can see it is predicting all the data, and as we go we can see that loss is decreasing further and further. It is 13 here, it is 1378, it is 1370. From all the way from this much, the loss keeps on decreasing as we increase the cycles. And epoch is basically, when you say one epoch is when in a neural network, this is a neural network. Where is a neural network? Yeah, this is a neural network. A neural network basically, it takes the input in these three values and gives a singular output. It gives if it's yes or no, binary basically, 1 or 0, true or false. So in one epoch we process the data from input to output and again back from the output to input, because in the first processing, first iteration itself, we don't know if the output is correct or not. So what it will do, after coming to the output, it will check with the actual output in a training scenario. In training we have the correct output and we'll have the model's output also. So in one epoch it will come here, it will check with the correct data, and if this is wrong it will see where it went wrong. It will go to all connections and see where, if we have 1 as correct output and this is 0, it will see where it turns 0, and it will change that one and see. It will come back here and it will change 1 point where it might have become 0, and it will run again. If this time 1 comes, it improved itself. It means this is the correct answer. And the more epochs you give, the more times it will be correcting itself, back and forth, back and forth. When one back and forth happens, it is one epoch. So that is what we gave here, 100 epochs. For 100 epochs only it took this much time and it had these many values. The more epochs you give, the more accurate the model gets, but the takeoff here is, the more epochs you give, the more time it needs to process. So if you want faster data and less accurate one, you can put slow epochs. If you have high supercomputer, high processing computer, and you don't, the processing will be done very very fast, then you can put higher epoch, you will get more accurate values. After it does all this, it will store it into the prediction variable here, the model predict generator, test generator. It will be stored here, all these values. Then we come to close data. These are all normal things, forecast numbers. We put it all into a forecast list. Then it comes to the part where we have to show what forecast we have done. The forecast result is this much. It is forecasting like tomorrow till next day, this is the number of cases that will happen. When you see it here, it will only take, the date here is till 19 May. Till 19th May it has all the data. Now we are predicting for 20th May. After all these iterations, we have df.tail, this is the original value. Then we have the final value. We can also predict, we showcase, usually people understand better with a graph. So we plotted a graph here using matplotlib, that is a library which is used to plot graphs. Then we showed the last 5 values, and this is the original data where it had 19th till 19th May. This is a day S, and forecast is the output. The output we have predicted for 20th May also, where it showed this is its prediction. we can check later if it's true or not. So this is the project. Thank you for listening.